Am I the asshole for reporting a coworker to HR and getting her transferred to another team? I, 26 female, am Muslim and Moroccan. But it isn't obviously Muslim, I guess? I don't wear hijab. First of all, my first name is a name that is common in Western countries too. Think Sarah, Lena, Nadia, Miriam. My last name, I came to know, is actually a Jewish name. I have a Jewish ancestor, but it is very common in my country. So just by name you would think I am not Moroccan. Then since I am Amazigh, Moroccan natives, I am very light-skinned, with light hair and eyes. Not what you would think when you hear African. I came to the US when I was 14, so I don't have an accent. During the pandemic, specifically August 2020, I was hired by a company to work remotely 100% of the time. It was only on September 1st that I started going to the office. I have a coworker. Let's call her LL, and I have been sort of friends. We both belong to the same team, and even while working remotely we used to have friendly chats sometimes. When we started working on site, she was so happy to have a friend to chat with. The first day she wanted to share her lunch. I declined because she wasn't able to tell me for sure if that pan she cooked the chicken in was used to cook pork before. So she said, "So you follow kosher, the letter huh?" And I replied, "Actually it's halal for me." She was obviously confused. Then when she grasped the situation, she became cold on the spot. I am sad to say this, but I am used to that reaction. In my mind all I heard was, "Another one bites the dust," and moved on with my life. But she started acting very hostile towards me. For example, if she sees that I am in hearing distance, she would make blatantly Islamophobic comments. She follows me around the office. When other coworkers ask me out for a coffee with them, she would loudly say she won't be coming with us, because she is going, etc. It was making me and everyone else very uncomfortable. The last straw was Thursday. I was going for a cough run, we take turns, and didn't want to take my bag with me. It was a big tote bag. Well, she threw a fit, said that either I take my bag or she will call for security and ask them to go through it. When I said what she meant by that, she told me God knows what I have in it. My people are not exactly known for harmless bags. Everyone was shocked. They said that she went too far. I just went to HR directly and reported her. A couple coworkers did too. She was called in Friday, then I did too, and I said that I can no longer work in the same space as her. Today I received an email that she will be transferred to another department. And I felt relieved. But my mom said that I know better than to do that I should have dealt with it without impacting her livelihood. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole at all. You didn't affect her livelihood. Her racist and Islamophobic behavior affected her livelihood. She didn't even get fired. She absolutely should have, just transferred. Does that even come with a pay cut? Original poster. Most of the time HR only protects the company's interests, and your openly Islamophobic coworker was a legal liability. None of this is your fault, especially since you were not the only one to report her. She's experiencing natural consequences that aren't even as bad as they could be, because she put the company at risk. Yeah, I don't feel great about a transfer, but I'm sure there's a lot more to the story, like some sort of 3 strikes policy or protected status. I know I worked a place where you had to be caught with the same infraction multiple times. Verbal warning, written warning, 1-day suspension, 3-day suspension, 5-day suspension, then indefinite suspension pending review of termination. And it had to be the same infraction. Coming late was different than forgetting to punch, was different than threatening coworkers, was different than threatening customers, etc. It sucked, but it was our policy. In TA, they should have actually fired her. She works in another floor, and that is enough for me. She's not going to stop bad-mouthing you though. It sounds like her coworkers find her as terrible as original poster does. I don't see her continuing to work there for very long. Not the asshole. That's a "let's hope" scenario. It really should be a genuine accountability scenario. HR decided to make it someone else's problem, rather than actually dish out some accountability. That's not a good sign. NTA 100% not the asshole. What a complete and utter womble of a person. Well done to you for not reacting, cause I think I'd have reacted physically to that. As Assad as it is, I am used to it. I had someone throw a stone at me when I was 16 because it was 9/11. I had to get 4 stitches and hair will not grow back in the patch. So comments? Very mild by comparison. I'm so sorry. My country stole and melted down Syrian refugees' jewelry, and fucking wedding bands. To pay for their asylum, clearly to deter them, but suddenly has all the money in the world now that it's the Ukrainians fleeing war. I'm so sorry the world is this way. Ooh, don't get me started on the double standards. I felt very bad for the Ukrainians, but I absolutely hated the way the news here covered the whole situation. Not the asshole. Wow, I was actually shocked about what she said about the bag thing. People actually think that, huh? Damn. Imagine how I felt. I met my share of racist and Islamophobic people, but never someone as blatant as this woman. There are definitely people who say the quiet part out loud, This woman was screaming it from the rooftops. Definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole. You didn't do anything to affect her livelihood, her actions did that. Whether you would have reported her or not, it's more than obvious that her treatment towards you was also affecting your other coworkers, who also reported her. All of this was caused by her bigotry. Also, if the complaint and HR procedures work at Original Posters Company like they do in a lot of other places, HR followed up on her complaint by talking to other members of her team who witnessed the behavior and got corroborating statements about it. So it's not just on Original Posters' word. Not the asshole, you're not responsible for her actions impacting her livelihood. I'd ask your mother what she would have done, as going to HR is the only sensible option. My mom says the best way to deal with a racist is to ignore them. I do not have the patience needed for that level of ignoring. The best way to deal with racists is to call them out for their racism. You are not the asshole here. Your coworker is going to have to deal with the consequences of her own actions. Not the asshole. You did not impact her livelihood. You did not get her transferred. She did. Her actions did. Her choices did. Her bigotry did. And going to HR was 100% the correct thing to do. Your mom is not realizing that racists aren't only racist in words, but they can and will kill and physically harm. Actually, that is what she is afraid of. She doesn't want us to confront people because she is afraid they will escalate. That is why I understand her point of view too. Salam. I'm sorry you are going through what you are going through. It is a horrible situation. But focus on this. Multiple coworkers also felt it was an egregious enough comment to approach our. You are surrounded by others who support you. It is especially difficult growing up in a country in which your parents are foreigners and minorities because they are extra focused on keeping their heads down. I fully understand this, but I think picking your battles is better than avoiding all of them. When you grow up, as you did, in the country, it is easier to feel sure-footed than for your parents. This was a good battle to pick because she was so overtly out of line it couldn't be explained away, and also because your other coworkers agreed. Good luck to you. Not the asshole. She should have been fired and not just moved. Not the asshole. You didn't get her transferred, her actions did. Even if you didn't submit the HR complaint, it sounds like many of your coworkers did anyways. She made her Islamophobic, xenophobic, racist, bigot bed, and now she has to lay in it. Not the asshole. You're never wrong to report harmful prejudice. If you had an open wound, ignoring it only makes it worse. I'm guessing your mom didn't want you to create conflict in your workplace, but your coworker created the conflict, not you. Frankly, transferring the person to a different department was a bad idea, because that was HR ignoring the problem. If that other department has someone who is Muslim, they are now a potential target of this coworker. HR should have fired this person. Not because anyone is seeking revenge, but because that person's attitude is poisonous and dangerous. It is unfortunate to make someone lose their job, but every adult is responsible for their own behavior. Not the asshole. She was impacting your livelihood by creating a hostile work environment. That's what she got in trouble for. It's 100% on her. Not the asshole. Other people reported her too. Her behavior is unacceptable. Guaranteed that other people reported her too or provided supporting statements to Original Posters' complaint when HR contacted them about it. Not the asshole. The biggest threat to the USA is from racist, Christian white people like it always has been since its inception. Sometimes moms are wrong. You did what you needed to do because you are likely not the only Muslim that works there, and you are doing the entire office a favor. Not the asshole. I'm a bit disappointed that they transferred her, though, instead of canning her.